Well, hello and welcome along to Tracktalk, and great to have your company for another feature race meeting coming up here at the Singapore Turf Club. And Josh McLaughlin has joined me once again in the studio here to dissect what is a fantastic looking 11 race card. Josh, great to see you back, buddy, and another Group 1. You really turn out for the big occasions, don't you?
Yeah, it's good to be here, Nick, and obviously we're bouncing from one week into another with the Group 1s, and before we know it, it'll be the Singapore Cup, and we were blessed with the performance of Inferno last week, weren't we?
We certainly were. We're going to have a look back at Inferno, but just before we get to Inferno, just talking of group races, that race last week housed the winner of a horse nominated for Hong Kong, and this week in the QE2 Cup, Top Knight is also nominated for Hong Kong. So that's just a little bit of news this week that could well excite many of us.
Yeah, and it doesn't surprise me that Inferno is nominated to go to Hong Kong, but I was a little bit surprised about Top Knight just because he's had such a big and rigorous sort of couple of years, but he certainly warrants a nomination. And look, I'd love to see Inferno in a sprint over there, because I just think his times back up what he does, and with the matter of ease, he does it.
Certainly does. Well, let's have a look. Talking of ease, that's a great segue into this review of his win last week. There he is in the parade ring, the giant Inferno. He's absolute monstrous, isn't he, really? And we'll see the race shortly. Josh, we'll take it from the start in its entirety. You would have been watching this on from home. There's plenty of sport last week. There was all sorts going on, but this lit up the Singapore racing scene.
Yeah, absolutely, Nick. And look, you could tell even on the TV, just looking at him in the yard, how imposing he always looks, but he looked to have even tightened up from his Guineas run, and it was a monstrous effort. And I think drawing the barrier that he did, reading that Vlad wasn't too concerned, you can certainly see why. I think he prefers to be out there in clear running. He
does. He was drawn wide. The pace taken along by Aramani, who loves to lead, Fame Star, and also up there Skywalk as well, who's very highly rated. But as you say, Josh, he never looked uncomfortable at any stage, and for me, the real explosive part of this horse is this turn of foot we're going to see shortly, because they just cannot live with him.
No, and it's a pure arrogance in the way that they can ride the horse, and it's I don't think there's any other way to ride him, but as we've seen so many times, Nick, he puts them away in a twinkling of an eye, and he really can be 4 or 5 lengths off them, and then all of a sudden he's 2 in front, and it was lovely to see him sort of back it up on the clock. But he's an exciting animal, isn't he?
He is very much so. Some big runs in behind. Mr. Malik faring best of the rest, chasing in second, and there you can see he's seen the back end of Inferno before, and he saw it again last week. But a lovely horse who in retrospect didn't cost a lot of money. I think he was a $10,000 weanling, and then he might have gone through as a 2-year-old there as about 140. But Vlad, the first jockey at Kranji to win 3 Lion City Cups.
Is that right? I actually didn't know that, but look, you can tell he's a different type of horse that fits the mould of horses that you probably look to buy to come here in Singapore, because generally those really big horses, you've got to take into account they're going to be running on hard tracks, and he probably fits that mould, and because he's such a big striding type of a horse, he goes against everything that you're sort of probably normally looking at, but he's a freak of nature, and special credit must go to Chris Bock, who found the horse, and the team that have kept him so sound.
Yeah, indeed. No, well done to Chris and everyone involved. Can't wait to see what happens with him next and how it all plays out. Let's have a look at the premierships ahead of this weekend of racing. We've not got too many meetings left. Michael Clements, 47 winners now, 7 clear of Mark Walker. Good story on the website. Mark Walker saying if he was framing a market, Clements would be $1.20. Mark Walker, Freeman, $5. Who would you back?
Look, I think Clements is in the box seat for sure. I think Freeman's still got a lot of guns that can sort of getting into the right class, so he'd probably be the second stringer for mine, and then Mark Walker for third. He's got so many numbers, hasn't he? And but Clements had a great year, and I think he's a deserved winner if he wins.
Yeah, can't wait to see it unfold. Vlad's now 9 clear of Maya, 59 to 50. Bozlan looks booked for third. He's got 34. He won't be riding this weekend, sadly. Failed in his appeal. Mark Lerner and Harry Casson, and Simon Cock for the apprentices 26. Hakeem 19, Nizar 10, Cyril 6, and Krisner 5. Well, we're racing on the long course B this weekend. We've got 7 on the turf, just 4 on the poly, and we start at midday. The feature race coming up is race 10, 4:30, which has been the norm of late. Well, let's take a look at the race card for the opening race, and it is the I'm Incredible 2019 Stakes. He was later crowned Horse of the Year last year. Horse 4, Minaj, is the one we're going to preview shortly. Vlad Jurek takes the ride there, but is drawn wide. Quite a few in here with chances. We'll pick the brains of Josh very shortly. But we will roll in this VT for you of Minaj, who's been in good form. And well, this AJ stable, Josh, they're buying up a lot of horses, changing their names, and they're running really well.
Yeah, they are, Nick, and they're hitting the board nice and early, and Vlad seems to be the guy that they go to get the job done more often than not. So it's interesting that he's booked to ride him here, and he draws 13, but that's not such a big concern on the poly surface over this distance for mine. So look, he just fell in here, but I expect him to be competitive again in what is a competitive Class 5.
It is. I thought Try Mac Mac was a bit of a chance. You've gone with a horse who's got a little bit of back class compared to some of these. My horse.
Yeah, look, I think he's got a really good record sort of when he gets back over these type of distances, and I think an important thing with him as well is that he's had the blinkers on the last 2 times, and they've been removed, and all of his winning and good racing's been done when he hasn't had any gear on. So I just thought with the claim of 2 kilos, he gets in with 55, and he can run time, this horse, and I think he's down far enough in the ratings now where it becomes dangerous in what's an even race. So
I agree
that's
with
the way I've gone.
Yeah, once rated as high as 74, so he's been a better horse than some of these. I'll go with Try Mac Mac though in the opening Class 5 over Minaj. He deserves a bit of respect for sure. A lot to like about him. Golden Thunder in, and I throw an extra win in as well. 2, 4, 3 and 1 as Josh alludes to. Competitive race.
Yeah, not with any great confidence, Nick, but my horse on top for mine, he just sort of ticks a few boxes. I've put Try Mac Mac in, the booking of my is sort of crucial. Golden Thunder, he's ready to win a race, this guy, and I wouldn't be surprised with a big run here. An extra win, hard to leave this horse out, in the right grade. I'm not too keen on the barrier, but just over these trips, but certainly can be prominent. So I've gone 9, 2, 3 and 1.
Yes, it's a competitive one to start. Won't be easy. The second race is the Deck Collector 2018 Stakes, restricted men for 4-year-olds only. Alexander Horatio up at the top. Nothy Soton wouldn't be without a chance, drawn wide. Special Ops the same, but drawn very wide. Top of the line is in next to that one. And over the page, Satria won a trial recently. Marika Pitbull is a newcomer. Tiger Leap and a couple of emergencies. Footsteps on the car and Gallant Black. We'll start here, Josh, by having a look at Nothy Soton. Timmy Fitzsimmons has put a tongue tie on this horse for the first time, having run well on yielding ground on this occasion. Yeah,
look, I think, this horse is knocking on the door, isn't he? I've got a bit of time for this guy, and yielding ground here may not have suited ideally, but my sticks, the wide barrier was a little bit of a concern, along with probably my other top selection in Special Ops. But look, that was 2 that I wanted to work around in this, Nick, and I think they deserve to win a restricted maiden.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen sometime soon, especially the latter there. Special Ops can certainly go very well. We're going to take a look at Satria's trial recently, and I actually spoke to Vlad Jurek after this trial, and he was quite impressed, but he also trialled Special Ops, who we'll see shortly, and he's obviously chosen him. But great to see Johnny Powell back, and hopefully not too long before he bags another winner.
Yeah, and the blinkers on here, Nick, is a key factor for mine as well. And look, I like the way Vlad sort of rode this horse in the trial. He put him in a few difficult sort of situations, and a few that just sort of educating the horse, and that's why it's so good to have these good jockeys that can do that off the track. But I think it'd be great for Johnny Powell to tap a winner in, and I don't think Vlad would have felt comfortable about picking between them.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Johnny Powell, one of our favourites, taking a few more rides now as the weeks progress. Special Ops is the mount of Vlad, and we're going to give you absolutely everything on this one. We've got the pass run, the trial and the track work, and well, there's plenty to like about this one, Josh. This was in behind Speedy Missile, beaten 5 lengths, yes, but eye-catching. Coming back in trip, what's your take on that?
Look, I'm not too concerned. I just think that he's had a couple of tough runs, this horse, and what you probably don't see on this vision here is he was sort of hampered and interfered with sort of at the top of the straight, and it probably cost him 2 or 3 lengths. So with the added fact that Jurek goes on here, I think that he's really ready to win this horse, and the drop back to 1200 metres, he's rock hard fit, and I expect him to be very hard to beat.
Yeah, he's clearly a decent chance. There is his trial there in what was a decent time as well, and I think Jason Ong's got a nice enough horse here on his hands actually to go to war with.
I think he can go on and compete in better class, and he's a tough type of a horse. He seemed, I really liked the way that he got knocked down in his most previous race, and he was still able to get up, and I think with a rider like Vlad Jurek on, he's going to get the best out of him, this guy, and he's going to prove very hard to beat in this.
Yeah, I thought the race sort of ebbed away a little bit actually outside of those that we've just taken a look at. Pitbull's a newcomer but has had any amount of trials in a deep field. Marika ran in an open maiden last time behind Khan. I thought this was much tougher.
Yeah, this is. I think the knotty suit and special ops form is going to be the form that has proven and will stand up, and I think that horse will get better with time. Kennerboy Warrior is starting to become a little bit hard to gauge,
frustrating,
and he might be coming towards the end of his prep as well, as a lot of horses are, Nick, and they've had 4 or 5 goes at these restricted maidens, so I think those two are really the horses that are still in the zone, and they've had some key gear changes this time in.
They certainly have. Let's take a look at the selections. It's it's very similar for both Josh and I. Special Ops, I agree with every comment made by Josh there. I think he's the one they've got to beat, even though he's drawn wide. Nothi Soten in for second, Satria in for third, and I've thrown Alexander Horatio in because, I mean, he was fourth in that Speedy Missile race last time, so he could be right on the hammer of the selection there. 3-2-11-1.
Yeah, Special Ops for me. I think he's one of the better bets on the card. I just think he's got so much in his favour, and I love his recent trial and just his work and what he's done so far. He's a tough horse, and the drop back to 1200 is no concern for mine. The 2 in for second. There's not much between them, I don't think, but just with Special Ops, he looked a bit sharp on the track. I put Satria in for third. I loved the addition with blinkers, and I thought he trialled well, and it'd be great to get a win for Johnny Powell. And I put 14 Tiger Leap in. I gave him some sort of chance last time. I think he would have benefited from that run, and an improved run won't surprise here. So 3-2-11-14.
Yeah, it's hard to get away from Special Ops in the second. Race 3 is the Quetcher 2017 Stakes, horse that provided Ricardo Lagrange with his first Group 1 win. Yulong Fast Steed's in great form, more on him shortly. Khan, a recent winner. 7 Healthy Star is scratched. Mr. Dynamo's been in great form, and I think he's still nicely handicapped to go very well here. Mr. Dynamo, I think he's going to run a big race, so more on him. We'll see a bit more on him shortly, but we'll take a look at Mig Piero to kick things off. And again, a horse who is in the right sort of place, shall we say, Josh, to run a race here. Finished off in 22-11 last time.
Yeah, he certainly is, Nick, and this was an encouraging run, wasn't it? And look, drawing wide on these surfaces, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's no problem to draw out wide, and I think it will certainly benefit this horse, providing he gets a tempo on up front to suit, which he most likely will. So, S. John on, I'll be respecting the market with this one.
Now here's Yulong Fast Steed. He's up 12 points for 2 wins recently. He's absolutely flying, this horse. Beat the handy-looking Blue Blood last time. He's got to show it at 58.5 kilos, though. That's a lot more than he's been carrying.
Yeah, he was pretty dominant, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Look, he's a nice horse, and especially over these trips. And I don't think he could have done it any easier there. No. And look, I think he can win again. Even he is disadvantaged probably at the weights compared to a couple of others, but he's just in a rich vein of form at the moment, and I think he's got such a good rider on as well. I couldn't get away from him, really. Yeah,
Ruin's got a great record on him. Only once not winning. 3 rides, 2 wins in a second. Khan absolutely bolted in last time. We can take a look at this performance. This was in an open maiden, Josh. Blue and white highlight. Would have been the first winner for El Arabia for a little while. I can't remember the one previous, but he was just far too superior this day. Yeah, and I've been waiting for something to happen with this horse. He's always shown enough on the track, Nick, but look, he was dominant in this, but I'm just not so sure about the horses coming that come from behind him in this, and not beating a great deal. No, exactly, and it's not to say that he can't win, but look, I think there's better form lines for him, so I'm happy to go around him. Yeah, here's the horse I like finally, Mr. Dynamo. He's got Mig Pierre and Pindus behind him. Now, I mean, he's wonderfully consistent, this horse. And when I spoke to Tim Fitzsimmons a few weeks ago about one of his maidens, actually Relentless, that ended up winning, and he had the other horse in the race as well, Sovereign. We spoke about this horse, and he just said he's one that you need in the stable.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, this horse was a really nice juvenile, and one that they certainly had an opinion of early days in his first couple of starts. So he became a bit of a non-winner, and he's really trended back into the direction of consistency at the moment. So look, I haven't found a spot for him near the top, but I certainly think he can win a race like this while he's down in the weights.
Yeah, just showing you that little bit of steady work. Obviously, we tend to show you gallops predominantly, but always nice to see them go a little bit steadier. And he looks a very tractable horse that's in good form.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, drawing one's probably not ideal, but he's in very good form, and I'm sure Timmy wouldn't run him again if he hadn't held it at least. So I expect him to run well again, and he's so well weighted, isn't he?
He's certainly. Just before we get to the numbers, you've got him in, I've got him in as well. J.R. Malone, I think there's a bit happening here. Durex on, headgear change.
Yeah, absolutely. The blinkers going on's a key for mine, and I think this horse is certainly good enough to be winning in this grade. So I'm respecting him in this. He's got to give horses like Mr. Dynamo 7 kilos, but I think he's probably good enough, and I found it really hard to sort of have any confidence in my top 4 in the order, but I think he's certainly a winning chance.
Yeah, I like him too here, J.R. Malone, but it's Mr. Dynamo for me. I'm going to go with the weight factor here. I think with the lightweight, you saw that run for yourselves there. He flew home to take second, and well, an extra couple of bounds he might have got there. Yulong Fasti will run well. I just worry that it's a lot of weight to give away. J.R. Malone goes in. I've thrown Khan in as well, purely because he did win easy, and obviously it's hard to really put a line through him just yet at this early stage in handicap company. 11-1-3-6 for me.
Yeah, I've stuck with the top weight here, Yulong Fasti. I think he's just in really rich vein of form at the moment, Nick, and if he can win with a weight like this, he might be able to go on and win in Class 3 with no type of weight. So it's a really good test for him. I've thrown J.R. Malone into second, as we just mentioned. The bells are ringing, aren't they, for a win here with him. I put in number 4, Pindus. He's probably been a little bit disappointing this preparation, but he is more than capable once he gets his act together, and if they go along quick enough, he can get home hard. And I've also thrown in number 9, Diamond Mine. Got a good record on the poly. I just thought if they do go quick enough, he's the outside chance. And obviously Mr. Dynamo, which I haven't got the numbers, so 1, 3, 4 and 9.
Yeah, it's a competitive little race, that one for sure. That is race number 3. As we go to the break, let's relive the highlights from last week, shall we? The Lion City Cup and that monster victory of Inferno. They're off and racing in the Lion City Cup, and Street Cry Success absolutely bombed the start, looking for Inferno. He jumped well. Cliff's Cub will become the leading lion in this city this afternoon, and he will win it in effortless fashion. Inferno too good.